Hi there and welcome along to another workout for you to row along to. Look, we're outside again and look what I've built. I've got my own little stage to row along with you. Anyway, today what we're going to do is 30 minutes. I'm going to do it as a sawtooth stroke rate. So we're going to do 18, 20, 22, 20, 18, 20, 22 over and over again. Basically a total of 15 times. They're all going to be 2 minutes long and that will turn out to be our half-hour row, okay? And then our 18 strokes a minute is going to be at 2k plus 20 pace. The 20 strokes a minute will be at 2k plus 18 and the 22 strokes a minute will be round about 2k plus 16. And they're just going to go up and down through that. All right, so it's just going to be a good fitness building workout today that's going to give you a chance to work on some of your stroke rates just so you can get that feeling of attenuation of the power from your legs. Right, so let's get into our 4-minute warm-up as always. Now we're going to start off by setting up our machine. Now drag factor first. If you don't know about drag factor, please check out the video I have on the YouTube channel. Next up, go to your monitor and set it to eye height so you don't have to look up or down. And finally, those foot straps, yep, they should cover a point in your feet where you're able to get to the front of the machine with your shins into vertical without scooting past or without unable to get there, okay? So, 4-minute warm-up, 18 strokes a minute. Just follow me, I'll guide you all the way through, okay? Here we go then in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Now power-wise for this warm-up, don't really have to think too much about pace. Just make sure you're connecting solidly with the legs and a good connection of the arms as well. I mean, if you need me to tell you a pace, then I'd say run about, starting off about 2k plus 15, no sorry, 2k plus 30, 2k plus 15 of that would be awful. 2k plus 30, working your way up to run about 2k plus 20. Just because 2k plus 30 for me is 2 minutes 15, so that's what was going through my head. Again, a more professional coachy type would stop and restart this video, but I'm not going to do that. My footloose and fancy-free approach has got me world records and gold medals, so why would I stop now? Okay, so if you have been easing off the pace a little bit, just make sure you're going a little bit harder now, closer to your 2k plus 20 pace. 2k training pace is basically you row a 2 kilometer time trial, divide the result by 4. That's your average time to cover 500 meters, and that's what I call your 2k training pace, and what most people call your 2k training pace, to be fair. So then when I say 2k plus 20, it means you just row 20 seconds slower than that. Okay, in 3 strokes time, we'll put 1 foot on the ground and carry on rowing. So here we go. 1 foot on, 1 foot in. Carry on rowing with just 1 leg strapped in. And this really helps with balance. It helps with a little bit of compression at the front. If you find that with both legs strapped in, if you find it difficult to get into that shins vertical position here, then having one leg in can help that. Okay, swap feet, continue with the other leg. It's a good time to be mindful and think as you swap your legs there, does anything feel different? Do you feel you're more unstable rowing off the other leg? Less powerful? I know I'm definitely more powerful on my left leg than I am on my right leg. Okay, both legs in, keep them straight, and just row with your back and arms. So nice straight legs, have a little bit of a bend to them, just to stop them locking out. But as you row, I don't want any of the power to come from your legs. Not now, I mean later when you're rowing properly. Obviously the power comes through your legs, but right now it's just your back and arms. Now let's roll to the front of the machine, straight arms, and just push out of the front with straight arms. Don't have to worry about being too powerful. This is just about getting that timing right of the leg drive and the connection of the handle with the flywheel. So just even a half push, just to check that connection, that you're doing it with straight arms. That's all you need. You should hear that. And we're all done. So there we go. 4-minute warm up in the bag. Keep on moving up and down the rail, have a quick drink, and I'll quickly fly over one more time what it is we're doing today. Here we go then. So this is a half-hour row split into 2-minute chunks. Now you can just go ahead and set your monitor to 30 minutes, or you may have already found this as RA21 in the ErgZone app to pre-program this entire workout into your monitor. Now we're going to do each of these 2 minutes at a slightly different stroke rate. So we're going to go 18, 20, 22, 20, 18, 20, 22, to make a nice sawtooth as we get through this entire workout. And of course our pace will change as we go through each stroke rate. But it's not going to be too intense. It's going to be a nice bottom tier fitness building, base building workout today. So it's not going to be one that's going to leave you completely exhausted at the end, but you're going to make sure and feel like you've had a really good workout anyway. Okay, so really I'm just going to talk to you more about it during the row. There's no point me talking too much now and wasting your time. It's more important we actually get in and do some rowing. You just don't sit there going, could you please hurry up? So, right, we're going to start off at 18 strokes a minute, and your pace is going to be round about your 2K average plus 20 seconds. Okay, so if your 2K average is 2 minutes, then you're going to be rowing this at 2 minutes 20 pace. Okay, so make sure and switch your monitor to the /500 meters display if your monitor shows that. Obviously, if you're on some kind of machine that doesn't show that, you're gonna have to try and work out how to gauge your pace, sorry. Anyway, in 3, 2, 1, go. 18 strokes a minute is 1 stroke every 3.333333 seconds. Or you can just watch me for the stroke rate, or if you're listening to this on the podcast, just follow along with the whoosh of my flywheel. That's all you have to do, is hold 18 strokes a minute at about 2K plus 20 pace. Just do this for 2 minutes, and then we're going to hop up to 20 strokes a minute. It's a nice simple workout. I'll get the heart rate going up and down as well. I'll probably be on a steady increase, but as you go up and down the sawtooth, you'll see changes happening. Just try and be honest about your pace. Otherwise, you kind of, well, to be honest, you could roll this entire thing at 18 strokes a minute and 2K plus 20, and you'll still get the same workout effect out of it. But I've done this as a sawtooth to really just try and make it a bit more interesting, because after all, these base building, fitness foundation building rows aren't the most exciting in the world, but just like sprouts, they're the most important for you. Okay, 3 strokes to go, and we're going to go up to 20 strokes a minute. So here we go. 20 strokes a minute and 2K plus 18 pace. So basically just go 2 seconds faster than you were before. Or if you don't have any pace readout on your monitor, then just whatever reading you're seeing, make sure it's reflecting that you're going faster. Or if you don't even have that, just increase your stroke rate, which will probably mean that you've had to increase your power output from your legs slightly in order to be able to row at this pace. The stroke rate at least. So no one's going to judge you for what rowing machine you're on. The fact you're on a rowing machine makes you better than the person that's just sitting at home on their couch. So I'd much rather you used even the cheapest piece of nonsense than just gave up and sat on the couch eating a bag of Wotsits. Again, the sprout is much better for you than a bag of Wotsits, but maybe not quite as tasty. Okay, so in 6 strokes time, we're going to go up to 22 strokes a minute. And then we're going to go another 2 seconds faster than we are right now. 2, 1 more. So here we go, slight increase in stroke rate, slight increase in pace. But really, much like I'm doing to you or with you right now, you should be able to do this comfortably. If you're doing this on your own, then you can just zone out. If you're doing it with someone next to you, maybe you'll be able to talk away as much as I am. Have to think about your breathing pattern a little bit to be able to talk and row at the same time. But at this intensity, you'll be all right. So you should really be going 4 or 5 seconds faster than you started this row at, but that should really just be as a result of going 4 strokes faster per minute than you were before. Shouldn't really feel like you're really working a lot harder in order to maintain this pace. And plus, in 30 seconds, we start to go back down the sawtooth, and we can start talking a little bit about technique, because we'll be nicely warmed up 6 minutes into this row. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Let's get down to 20 strokes a minute. Just get that timing right. I like 20 because I can count in 3s. Okay, so let's try and break technique down through every 2-minute chunk and talk about it. So the most important starting point is that the rowing stroke is one where you push with the legs from the front. All the power is from your legs as you start your leg drive. That's why it's called a leg drive. It's not called an arm pull at the front. It's called a leg drive. So you push into the machine with your legs as you start the stroke. Might be easier to think about pushing the machine away from you, even though you're sending yourself backwards. Just from a brain trigger point of view, it can be easier to push the machine away. That comes into its own with what we're about to talk about once we get into our next chunk, which is when we slip down to 18 strokes a minute again. So 2, 1 more, 1, here we go. 18 strokes a minute, 2k plus 20 pace. So there we go, that's us going through the full range of these sawtooths. And I'll just be going up and down through these until the end. Now, as you do that push with the legs, I want you to keep your arms straight. Okay? Like I say, it's a push of the legs. You're not pulling from the front of the machine. You're pushing with the legs. If you keep those arms straight, then that push lets you hang off the handle, and all the power from that push is sent into the machine. Whereas if you pull with your arms and bend your elbows too early, then you're fighting that power and you're losing potential power through your stroke. So straight arms, push with the legs. And if you've got nice relaxed arms with open fingers hooked over the handle, then you should hang off the handle and put in that power. Okay, 3 more strokes, and then we'll go up to 20 again. Okay, up to 20 strokes a minute. 2 seconds faster again. So you're at 2k plus 18 pace right now. So remember, your pace goes up and down with your stroke rate. We're not going 2 seconds faster over and over again to the point that we'll be ending up rowing at like 10 seconds per 500 meters. As you go, faster stroke rate, faster pace, slower stroke rate, slower pace. But going back to those arms, the straight arms, and you'll hang off the handle, but only if you have a forward lean at the front of the machine. So you lean in to around about a 1 o'clock position, and then hold that 1 o'clock lean as you push with the legs. Push. And by holding that lean with those straight arms, that is another key to being able to hang off the handle and send all that power into the machine. So hold that forward lean and push with straight arms. Okay, 3 strokes time. We're going up to 22. 2, 1. Here we go. It's a really subtle shift up in stroke rate to get up to 22. It's the same difference between 18 and 20, but this 20 to 22 just does feel like it's just the tiniest of increases. So obviously we're finishing the stroke in a backward lean, and I just told you to hold your forward lean. So you may be thinking, surely at some point I have to transition from forward to back. I am not a magician. I can't just morph So you hold the forward lean until your leg drive is about halfway through. And then you swing into that backward lean. Now you swing over your hips. It's not about crumpling your lower back. It's about almost being like a pendulum and tilting over and over, backwards, forwards, over your hips. And that brings up posture, which is really important. 2, 1. Here we go, down to 20 strokes a minute again. Oh, it's just the beginning of spring right now, and with the sun just coming out, giving some heat, there's a lot of midges about. Either that or I'm sweating and smelling and attracting flies. Let's hope not. Nice to be outside again. Had a period about a month ago where I was able to do a couple of rows outside. Freak weather. And then 3 weeks of really cold and snow again. But today it's 13 degrees, the sun's out, and I have an option to show off my new decking, which I've just built. And it's surprisingly level. Surprisingly, because I made it. And I'm very much the measure once, cut once, realise I messed it up, buy it again. But this time, it seems to have worked. Go me, get my dad badge for the week. Okay, 5 strokes to go, and we're back down to 18 again. Right, 18 strokes a minute from now. Now I quite purposefully distracted you there with tales of my glorious decking, because I didn't really want to overwhelm you with all the technique stuff one after the other, which can make it harder to really drill into what you need to do. So I thought I'd give you a wee break. We can recap so far. So you're pushing with the legs, not pulling from the arms at the front of the stroke. Your back is swinging from a 1 o'clock to an 11 o'clock position at the back. But you hold that 1 o'clock position until about halfway through your leg drive, which is when you swing over your hips into that backward lean. And then you're making sure to drive out the front with straight arms hanging off the handle. But again, you need to pull in at one point. When do you do that? Well, you start your back rock and then pull in powerfully with your arms. So everything should finish in sequence. All right, 2 more strokes, 1 more stroke. Now we're back up to 20 again. Here we go. So your legs, you want to get all the way down full drive length, and then pretty much as your legs finish, your back comes into its finish, and then as your back comes into its finish, your arms follow into their finish. The point being that your leg drive puts in all the power from the start, but towards halfway that power peters off, so you add in your backswing to top up that power, and then as your legs come to their final conclusion, you add in that strong pull of your arms to squeeze out every last watt of power and put it into the machine. So I need you to really think about a strong finish with the arms. It's not an afterthought. Pull in, get those elbows through your sides, nice flat wrists, squeeze your shoulder blades together, handle up at sternum height, and finish strong. 3 more strokes, and we'll go up to 22. 1 more. Here we go. 22 again. Just a little bit more power from the legs to get that drive speed up, but also maybe a faster recovery back to the front of the machine. And that's important. So as you finish with the handle into sternum height, I want you to send it back out at the same pace you brought it in at. Okay, so is there such a word as equi-rhythmical? I know there's not, but I want the rhythm of in, out, to be even, so that you've got that sense of a flow, a sense of rhythm to your row. And then by getting the handle out and over your knees, you're helping get your back into that forward lean again. So your arms away triggers that forward lean. And then once your hands are past your knees and your forward lean is there, all you have to do is bend your knees and you'll effortlessly slide into the front of the machine again. Okay, 20 strokes a minute. Now, too busy talking about effortless sliding, I didn't do the countdown. Did you think I was going to forget? I have been known to forget. It is my way. It is the way. I have spoken. There's a pop culture reference that will mean nothing in about 5 years' time. Be like when I quote Friends. Although I just read that they're doing a reunion episode, so all of my Friends references will suddenly make sense again. Right. So, hands, body, knees. Hands, body, knees. That's your recovery. And if you get into that rhythm properly, that's what really helps with the higher stroke rates. It's not as much, or it's not just about a really fast drive. Your recovery is also really important. And you'll notice that I don't stop at any point. From the front of the machine to the back, it's all about flow. So quickly into that drive, and then quickly into the recovery. 3, 2, 1, back to 18s. 2k plus 20 pace. There we go. This is going well. I'm remembering them all so far. And the last thing, well, let's say the next thing, is posture. Okay? I've left this to the last because it's good to have the rest of the stroke properly keyed into your head, and then you can just think about posture. So when I'm at the front of the machine, in that forward lean, I'm up on my sit bones, leaning into the front of the machine. I'm not coming in with tailbone tucked under and my back already leaning back. I'm on my sit bones, powerful, primed. I think I was messing up stroke rate then, wasn't I? Finally got it wrong, eh? We're back to 18, don't worry. Getting too eager with my demonstration of how not to row that I messed up my stroke rate. I'll have a stern word with myself afterwards, don't worry. But yeah, up on your sit bones, powerful posture with your hips tilted forwards and a braced core. That's the posture you want as you hit the front of the machine. 2, 1, let's go up to 20 again. I know we were just doing a few strokes at 20, but we're gonna do a few more. So you hold that posture on your sit bones and drive holding that posture. And then, really importantly, as you come into a finish, I want you to think about maintaining that posture. Yes, you'll have hinged over your hips into a backward lean, but your sit bones, even though you're leaning backwards, your sit bones should still be what's connected to the seat. If you find that you've tucked your, or rolled your hips back and tucked your tailbone underneath you, under the seat, you'll have lost that powerful posture and that connection, making it harder to recover with the hands away and the rock over your hips. And it will also, if you suffer from backside pain when you're rowing, chances are it's because you're tucking your tailbone under you at the back of the stroke, and so your sit bones are rolling and squashing and mashing your glutes. 3, 2, one more, 1. Last set of 22s coming up. So if you imagine today's row, half an hour, we're probably close to 600 strokes. Should be pretty much bang on 600 strokes. That's 600 times that you may be squashing and mashing and flattening your glutes into the seat with that poor posture. So of course it's going to hurt. That's not to say that this up on your sit bones posture isn't tender at first, but that's more to do with it being the first time you've used your glutes in this way, and there still is a pressure point. But once you row a few sessions, maybe around 50,000 meters, you should find that if you've got your posture right, that pain is gone. But if you're still squashing your glutes with the big giant rolling pin of your sit bones, it's pretty much always going to hurt. And if you buy a seat pad, all it's going to do is mask that issue. And that issue is not just about pain, but it's also about injury prevention in your lower back and stroke efficiency. Okay, 2, 1. So I apologise profusely for however long I missed, assuming I did miss the stroke rate during that last 18 split. There we go, 2 minutes. Connect, send. Yeah, but then again, it's me. If I was one of the pro alpha male types, I probably would have stopped and started again. But I like you to see my flaws as well as my successes. Yes, I may be a world record holding indoor rower. Is that the second time I mentioned it today? But I still mess things up. So anyway, 2 minute cool down in 3, 2, 1, go. So still at 18 strokes a minute. Just connect with the legs and arms and just paddle home. Try and keep that posture right. Try and keep your technique right. Don't just flail like a flapping salmon. You just want to use this to ease your body into, just slide it into neutral. And so like I said, this isn't the most intense or exciting row in the world, but it is one of the best for you in terms of fitness and being able to row fast when you need to. So often the things that are best for you are not the most enjoyable, but I'm hoping that the stroke rate sawtooth today was almost like putting some smoked paprika on top of your sprouts. Made it a little bit more exciting. So anyway, so this worked, should have worked as week 3, session 5 of the 2K Redux, revisit, redo plan. Nice recovery after session 4. And then session 6 is another hard effort, mid-tier row, which will hopefully see you out of this training week quite nicely before entering the next one. And of course, week 4, session 1 is when I continue my story, and it's all about me. Yeah, we've got to me going to Boston for the first time at the end of week 3, session 1. So, right, 2 more strokes, and I'm done with the cool down. Ta-da! There we go. So, I hope you enjoyed today's row. Hopefully these are working well for you. Hope you like the outside. Hopefully we can get to do a bit more of these. I didn't have the badger on today, so he's still not got a name, but next time it's even slightly breezy, we will christen the badger. Anyway, so the last thing to say is the hashtag for this workout is to show that you got to the end, and let's just have hashtag decking, because isn't this marvelous? Okay, thank you so much for coming along and doing this row along with me. I will see you in the next one. Stay safe, be well, bye bye.